I guarantee this is you, bro. You choose to finally work on your business. You do some good work for around 20 minutes. You feel super happy with yourself because this is like your world record, right? But then you feel like you need a reward. You close your Notion page, you stop outreaching, you start working on your business. Instead, you go to load up YouTube for the 50th time that day. You say to yourself, 5 minutes is all I need and I'll get back to work. But 5 minutes slowly turns into 10, 10 minutes turns into 50 minutes, and then the next thing you know it's bedtime and it's time to go to bed. And then you lie on the bed, staring at your ceiling, thinking about how productive you could have been. And you start to feel overwhelmed because you're thinking about the future, about your business not working, because you're not really seeing that much progress right now, so you don't get any sleep. And the day repeats itself over and over again. I suffer with this exact problem for ages, like literally over a year. I couldn't work without getting distracted every single 20 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step game plan I put myself on, and I've put so many other people on that have completely destroyed the distractions in a matter of a few hours. And trust me, bro, when you do this, the amount of work you can do and the amount of progress you can make in your business is actually insane. See, I remember around 2 years ago, I was sitting on this exact desk like usual in all of my stories, and I start looking around the room because in front of me is my business mentor asking me a super important question. You see, around 30 minutes ago, I hopped on this call with this very successful corporator, and he's basically my friend now. I just speak to him very often, right? Like, bro, this guy is an absolute animal. Every single day, I'm always hearing about him just making more money. He's got 5 clients in one day, right? He's just crazy. But on this call, I just wanted to ask him for some advice about like me outreaching to get clients for my copywriting business that I did at the time. And out of the blue, this guy starts asking me about the progress I've made in getting my first copywriting client. And obviously, I just sit there completely clueless on what to say because I have not landed my first client at all. I haven't got close to it. You see, throughout the entire month, I basically did no work. Every single day, I would open my computer. I'd have the option of doing outreach so I can, get clients, or I could play video games, or I could load up YouTube for the 50th time in a day. And this is exactly what would happen every single day. I would, go on Instagram, look for these clients, try to reach out to them, do like 30 of those a day. Then I would just get distracted. I would think I need a reward from YouTube and all these random distractions, and I would never get back to work. And the funny thing is, throughout this entire time, I kept asking myself, why am I not making progress? Why have I not landed my first paying client yet? And I didn't realize that at the time, but after that call, I realized this was the problem. This was the only problem that was stopping me from scaling my business, actually making my first dollar online. And I guarantee this is the same problem you're facing right now. Because before the guy gave me any advice on that call, he simply just said, focus on improving your inputs, focus on actually doing more work, and then you can get that outreach script, and you can access all these fancy different templates that will help you. And that's when I realized removing the distractions and actually doing more inputs into your business is the only constraint. This is what stops 99% of entrepreneurs from actually making money online. You see, the problem you're facing right now isn't actually a YouTube addiction. It isn't actually a video game addiction. It's simply an addiction to anticipatory rewards, and also something called Pavlovian cues. And I don't know if I'm actually pronouncing that right, so please correct me in the comments if I actually am. But the thing is, nobody understands why they get distracted, and I've never heard anyone actually say this on YouTube, so this is going to be something you've never actually heard before. But basically, the dopamine system, if you don't know what dopamine is, it's basically the good feeling you have after you do the action, or the thing that drives you to do an action, whether that's, playing video games or watching YouTube. But basically, the dopamine system is very sensitive to cues that show a reward is coming its way. If there's a small cue that signals the brain that something is about to happen, however small it is, that sets the dopamine system off. And if you've ever read the book called Atomic Habits, basically, James Clear says in this book, there's 4 parts to a habit. You've got the cue, you've got the craving, you've got the response, and then you've got the reward. After you've got this cue, whether it's, you hear your phone buzzing on a YouTube video, that's going to start to initiate the craving, and then you're going to eventually do the action, right? It's just inevitable. And what happens is eventually you get stuck in this dopamine loop where every single time you go to sit down to work, you always anticipate that reward. Your brain always anticipates you clicking on YouTube 5 minutes into your D-work session. And this is what many people don't understand. It's not the reward that is actually addicting, it's the anticipation to the reward. It's when you get that cue and the craving, that's what makes it so addicting. All these productivity YouTubers, they all tell you to just put your phone outside the room and just get to work. When really, that is not going to solve your problem because you are addicted to the anticipation of that reward. You're not addicted to the phone. So even if you throw your phone out the window, you're just going to find a way to get on YouTube, whether it's on your laptop, whether you actually climb out the window to go and get your phone. It's very similar to like if you're complaining that you're not building muscle, when every single workout you just finish it halfway through. Like you set out to train chest and triceps, and then you only train chest. It's not going to happen. You're not going to build muscle. And I guarantee it, once you actually fix this problem, that is when you can start to focus, because all these other productivity hacks, they don't really matter unless you actually fix this. And by the way, if you're an entrepreneur who wants to get into a flow state for 10 to 12 hours every single day so you can blow up your business and make 10 times more money, click the first link in the description to join my free community. Okay, so how do you actually solve the problem of anticipatory anticipatory, how do you say that word? Anticipatory rewards and these Pavlovian cues. Well, all we have to do is delete the triggers and disrupt the habit process that is already ingrained inside our mind. Every single time you go to focus, you always get the cue, the craving, the anticipatory cue to actually go on YouTube or, you know, go on these random distractions or load up school for the 50th time. Because what many people don't understand is if we simply just disrupt the habit when, like, before we get the cravings, so we just remove the cue, we cannot get the craving because that is the next step, right? You're basically just stopping your brain from getting the craving to actually go on that distraction, so you won't do it. So maybe the cue is you hearing your phone go off, or your friend messaging you to go and play video games, or you hear that notification from that new YouTuber that you keep on watching. Whatever the cue is, if we simply remove that, then we won't get the craving and we won't get this anticipatory reward, and we'll start to just focus way more intensely on the work so we can get into a flow state. So the first thing I want you to ask yourself is, what is the cue to actually get on the distraction? What causes you to get the craving to go on YouTube or play video games or go on school for the 50th time? Maybe you're talking to that lead on school and you keep on checking it to see if it's replied. It's okay if you want to take a few minutes to actually find this, because it usually does take a bit of like mind digging, because your brain will actually try to hide this from you. It will try to blame it on a different cue when really the cue is something else, because it wants to remain in comfort, right? Your brain takes a path of least resistance, so it won't want to, you know, get rid of this bad habit you have. So by now you've hopefully found the cue, and when we do that, the way we actually remove the distractions and actually focus on the work is simply by making the craving super hard to get onto. And like I said, if you've read the book Atomic Habits, this is one of the things James Clear says. If you want to break a bad habit, we want to remove the craving by making it super hard and difficult to get onto. Like, for example, for me to get on YouTube, I have to open Google, I have to log into YouTube, I have to disable 3 web extensions that stop me from getting on YouTube. Then I have to disable this software, this productivity software I use, and then I can find a good YouTube video to actually watch, which is pretty hard nowadays. But me putting all these systems in place to actually stop me from getting onto this distraction makes it so hard for my brain to commit, so I'll just get back to work. Like, your brain is naturally lazy and it will always take the path of least resistance, and if you can make the path that is least resistant to work, then you will never get distracted, if that makes sense. So obviously I just want you to think right now, every single person watching this video, every single entrepreneur has a different distraction, whether it's YouTube, whether it's video games. What you need to do is find a way to reduce this craving and get rid of the cue, and that way you will never get distracted again. It's simple as that. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do all these fancy upside down pull-up things that stop your brain from getting distracted, or drink these weird productivity drinks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a worksheet in the description that you can find that will basically allow you to find a cue and also reduce the craving enough so you can focus for longer periods of time on your business. So like I said at the start of the video, if you're an entrepreneur who wants to get into a flow state for 10 to 12 hours every single day so you can blow up your business and make 10 times more money as fast as possible, click the first link in the description to join my free community where I'll help you one-to-one. So goodbye, have a nice day, you will open in the face again, goodbye.